any challenges like that?
I do, but it's already passed because I started the business back in November, and then December come around, and people already told me, "Hey, what do you do when New Year come?" Because like people over there, they kind of like celebrate big New Year. That it take them like 1 month, don't do anything, just celebrate
Right.
New Year.
Right.
I'm like, hmm. Do I need to shut down my whole business to celebrate New Year? The way I'm set up my company is I specifically build a culture of excellence at my company.
Hmm.
That's what I learned from the book Steve Jobs and Pour Your Heart Into It from Harvard School, Starbucks. So I break down my company into 10 different companies with these 10 steps that I share with you.
Yeah.
So the people who step up to be the leader at each step gonna be the CEO of my small company later on.
Hmm.
And each person that I'm hiring, I want to make sure they match the value that I'm sharing, which is workaholic. So if you're not workaholic, you're not work with my company.
Right.
And then we build a culture, we build a company together. So there's no employee at my company. We all leader, and
Hmm.
my dream is to bring product to the world. So at my company, when we work at the company, we're not just an Amazon company.
Right.
We a company that make an impact to the world. So every day you wake up, your purpose is to make money to help people improve their life. So that's why I try to instill the purpose into my organization. So that people right now, and all my employees really, really helpful and really hard worker. They work 7 days a week, non-stop like me, within 8 months. So that's how we roll really quick.
Wow.
And the beauty thing about us is we build a system of 35 people. So that when one person have problem, we have backup.
Hmm.
So each department I want to have at least 2 or 3 people to cover each other. So that's something happen, then we have the work still running. It's like a machine running 24 hours a day. So
Beautiful
that's how
system.
that's how I try to build it, because I mean with me like at the warehouse it's real tough because salary is real high, and have 3 people, 4 people. Oh my God, one people quit, and then like my whole warehouse go to chaos.
Hmm.
It doesn't happen in Vietnam. So like a lot of workload at the warehouse, I try to outsource it back to Vietnam. It's helped a lot.
Very good. Well, I love the description of the system and how hard working everyone you've brought in, that you've created a culture of hard work. Let me just suggest one thing for you to think about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We mentioned already the law of specialization, which is just, to me, it's the same as the law of gravity. You don't get to decide how you feel about gravity. It's
Yeah,
going to be there exactly the same, whether you like it or not, right?
for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
another one of those laws is the law of, in Christian circles, it's called the law of the Sabbath, but
Mm,
it's been proven scientifically, mathematically, many other ways.
okay.
Companies that take a day a week off,
Mm,
individuals that take one day per week off, there's a reason a week is 7 days. It's set
right.
up because one of those days is the rest, recover, restore day.
Mm,
And you can ignore that for a time. You can ignore it for a season, for a
right.
significant amount of time, actually. But
Right.
eventually, it's going to hit you. And you're going
Right.
to give all those days you missed back in
Right.
recovering somehow. I call it a season of intense focused effort. Okay, that's good, but I would suggest you'll go further faster,
Mhm,
turning everything off one day per week and
mm.
letting everyone just kind of rest and recover and come back invigorated for that day one. Then just something to suggest.
No,
Uh,
no, that's a really good point. I've been thinking about it. I mean, people does take day off because only the leader who work like that, but the one who supporting the leader, then they alternate and take day off.
Yeah.
But
So
so
ideally, everyone gets one day per week, and you just take it or
yeah,
leave it. But I've seen it play out over and over again.
definitely.
Do you know what the highest performing fast food restaurant is in the United States right now per capita?
I don't know.
No, the one that makes the most money per restaurant,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A,
Mm,
blows everybody away. They're
right.
closed every Sunday, right? They're never open.
Good point. Good point.
I mean,
My
so
employee
I
will
mean,
be happy.
there's numerous real world examples of how this plays out. And some people take 2 days a week off, and I'm like, that's unnecessary. 1 day a week is all you really were designed for. And yeah, but there you go, man. Just as a little tip, just as I'm listening to you describe your business model, and maybe someone else benefits from that as well. But just, I want you to build something sustainable long term,
sure.
right?
Definitely, yeah.
I want to hear your 8-year story. Right now we're hearing your 8-month stuff. So it's super exciting. Well, what else do you want to talk about? What other tips or strategies do you have for the audience, or any questions for me? You've certainly demonstrated a great deal of competence, and your business is fantastic, but there's always something we could be working on, or something else we could learn from you for sure. What else is on your mind?
Oh yeah, for sure. So one thing that I feel like a lot of business owner, like the entrepreneur, is missing, we focusing too much on cutting expense. With me, like for example, me, like lately, I'm do a lot of things, but so we have a lot of stuff, aging inventory piling at the warehouse, and I pull the whole team, 4 people, checking the inventory, moving it around, and see if we can sell it. It takes me 3 days to do that, and 3 days times 4 times 150. Oh my God, that money I can just throw all the inventory away and focusing on 3x my business. So
Yes.
so that's the thing that I feel like, we focusing on expand too much, and we lose the big picture that generate revenue is the most important thing. When we first started, move on quick and then make more money instead of try to cut, because you can only cut like 20% max or 10% max. You cannot cut it all, right? But you can increase 3 or 4 times your revenue easy.
That's an interesting topic for sure. I think a lot of business owners spend way too much time worried about we call it the death pile. It's the stuff we don't know what to do with. We bought too much of it or whatever. Just donate it, write it off.
Yeah.
And reduce it to a number as quickly as you possibly can and move on, because you don't factor in the time. It's like, oh, what we should do is take 2 weeks off and inventory everything and have a big yard sale and invite everybody in. And you do the math when you're done. It's like, we just wasted so much time. Just donate it and write it off. That's the right answer so often. And if you've never done that before, I highly encourage it. That's, we donate quite a bit of the stuff from our warehouse.
Yeah, and that's totally two different approach, right? So me, I try to get rid of my inventory. I pay salary and that gone, right? But you use that to donate, and it make you feel good. I'm frustrated.
Well, it's a tax write-off too. There's tax benefits to making donations, right? So it's almost like selling it for 20% of what you were hoping to sell it for, but you've gotten rid of it now. Right?
For sure.
No matter how it makes you feel, you've reduced it to a number quickly and it's gone. So we underestimate the importance of speed, the velocity of inventory, right? You want it moving, you want it churning, you want your money turning over. And if it's sitting still and stagnant, rather than figuring out how to make the most money you can out of it, a lot of times, like you just said, Eric, get rid of it super cheap, or even just throw it away. Just get it, move on, right?
Right.
Don't let it stagnate and slow you down and become
and the more you think about it, the more you frustrated, and you cannot think about how to make more money, so that is like really bad activity.
One of the mottos around here is, the solution to every challenge you run into is go find more ASINs that are profitable.
There you go.
Just go find more. When things are stalled or stagnant, or you're not sure what to do, go find more winning ASINs. That just puts more lifeblood into the system that you're building. So that's the beautiful solution to every challenge.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you put it much better than me.
Well, that's what we coach around here all the time. You'll hear, Robin Joy and Brian Olson, they do their the podcast episodes from time to time, and they'll talk about the different students that they're coaching, and the solution to every challenge any student ever runs into is always the exact same answer. Go find more winning ASINs. They're everywhere. That solves literally every challenge you might run into.
Right.
Just don't buy too much of anything and find more winning ASINs. And this is a beautiful, profitable business model.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of mistakes that people make, I still made it because, I still new. But a lot of people, they just go really deep, Like when you first
Mhm.
started and you see stuff on sale, like 50%, 70%, you're like, oh my God, so cheap. Let me get it all. No one's gonna get it.
Buy 100 units. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And it's great for the first 10, 15, 20 sales. And then someone else has 1,000 units and it's
for
cheaper than
sure.
yours. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, what am I going to do? Yeah, don't go so deep. That is the game is won by people who go very shallow into multiple different products. We call it inch deep, mile wide, right?
Right.
That's one of the themes of that, the basic strategy that you're operating under. Well, you mentioned you're going to get into some bundles, Eric. Is that something that's on your radar?
Yeah, because we have like 10 VA that's sourcing the product right now,
Mhm.
and I divide them into category. So basically, we cover pretty much 5 category right now, and they developing the expertise in each category. So they know, hey, this stuff on sale, but this not so cheap. So I have eye and ears in the market right now of who's selling bundle and what stuff is moving. So with that, then we can just go deep in there, and we just gonna bundle the stuff that's selling, and then we just gonna move on to private label with the bundle. So I
Yeah,
think that makes sense for us to
it
start
does.
that model. So I'm partnering with someone right now who've been doing it for a while. And then one thing that I wanna just to share my experience is sometimes when you run a business, it's really hard to let go of control or being vulnerable to ask for help, because like, hey, if I ask for help, like then they gonna think that me don't know anything, or like you just don't want to share your secret sauce with people, right? Your secret recipe. But one thing that I learned is, like there's a saying called, don't afraid of losing your recipe, because the stuff that people make not gonna taste as better than you, because you are the secret ingredient. So it's
Right.
like, wow, it's amazing, like, oh, that fit perfectly into the world of business, because before I'm like, hey, I know a little bit about this category, I know a little bit about this strategy. I don't teach my team because I'm afraid that people are gonna take it from me and have their own company and
Mhm.
just compete with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, why I leave this mentality, like how I'm gonna build a business,
We
grow the
call it
business,
we
and
call it
worry
a
about my
scarcity.
people. There
Scarcity
you go.
mindset. Have you heard that term? Scarcity
Yeah,
mindset versus abundance mindset. Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
all comes down to how much success you think is available in the world.
There you go.
And if you think success is available in abundance, anybody can have as much of it as they want at any level they want. All of us can have tremendous success. That's one worldview. It's the worldview I have. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of other people who see success as this limited, only a few people are going to get it. If some people get it, that means other people can't have it. They see
Right.
success as this limited pie. We call it the cake versus candlelight. Have you heard that, Eric?
Oh no, this is the way you put it, so beautiful.
Yeah, cake versus candlelight perspective of success. If
Mm,
success is like a cake sitting in the middle of the room on a table and we're all around the edge of the room and suddenly someone says, go, and we all run in there with our forks and we get as much of that success cake as we can. Well, that's brutal. And a lot of people see the world that way. Success is a cake and only some of us get some and most people are left out. Well, in our community, we have an abundance mindset towards
nice.
success, which means any of us can have as much as we want. It's like lighting